the Psychology of Personalization. So I'm Camilla. I'm the Content Marketing Manager here at Fresh Relevance, which basically means that I spend all my time reading, writing, or researching about e-commerce. And I'm joined today by Jack from Pure360.
Hi everyone, my name's Jack Clay. I'm a Principal Solutions Consultant for Pure360, which means I help all of our customers achieve the best results possible with email.
Brilliant. So we'll be holding a Q&A today after the session. Hopefully we'll have time to get round to everyone's questions. If you do have any questions, please just pop them in the question box, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. If we don't have time to get through to your question, we'll be leaving our contact details at the end of the session, so you can always drop us an email and we'll try to answer as best we can. So first of all, a quick bit about who we are. Fresh Relevance is a versatile decision and personalization platform for commerce-driven businesses. The platform gives you the power to maximize customer experience, conversion, and loyalty. The platform offers an incredibly wide range of personalization tools and integrates seamlessly with all the elements of your existing tech stack. It also tests and automates decisions for you, so you can be sure that the right content is always put in front of the right customer. The platform gathers data wherever customers go, then brings together all of this data with existing data, showing real-time behavior and insight combined with the power to act on it. Our product features include dynamic images, product recommendations, data capture popovers, triggered emails, geo-targeting, social proof, and the list goes on. Ultimately, we help digital marketers achieve their goal of boosting customer loyalty and revenue by creating an optimized customer journey across all channels and devices. In fact, on average, our customers see 25% of their online sales influenced by Fresh Relevance.
Pure360 is an all-in-one AI marketing and cross-channel automation platform. Interestingly enough, it actually has Fresh Relevance built into it, so you get all of those features which Camilla was speaking about there with our tool as well via Fresh Relevance. Our mission is to enable marketers to be the best they can be and tie up all their disparate data sources and make sure they're basically maximizing as much data as humanly possible in order to make sure they're getting the best results. We work with Reach Publishing, ShoeZone, Financial Times, Keone, Whirlpool, The Range, loads of different customers to make sure they're getting the best results.
Brilliant. So let's get started with the psychology of personalization. And Jack and I are going to start by discussing a couple of interesting theories with you. So first, the cocktail effect.
So we've all experienced those busy events, loud parties, bustling restaurants and crowded gigs. But have you ever noticed that despite the music, the conversations and general background noise, we still have the ability to focus on one singular conversation whilst kind of being able to ignore everything else? This is called the cocktail party effect. So how does the cocktail party effect relate to marketing? So consumers are exposed to between 6,000 and 10,000 ads every single day. That's an awful lot of background noise. Could you recount even a fraction of those ads? But that's because we filter most of them out. This means that most ads simply become white noise. This is a significant challenge for marketers as a lot of your hard work goes completely unnoticed. As industries become more competitive and channels become more saturated, brands need to do all they can to stand out from the crowd. For marketers, personalization can emulate that singular engaging conversation that we focus on at the noisy cocktail party. However, it's 2021 and personalization has come a long way since the simple hijack in your email tactic. So to stand out in the marketing space, brands need to focus more on true personalization. True personalization means having a deep understanding of your customer journey, being able to predict and act upon customer needs, the products they buy and the pages that they browse. And as always with email, sending the right message at the right time.
And the second theory we want to talk about is the psychology of persuasion. So the term social proof, also known as social influence, was coined by Dr. Robert Cialdini, who found that when making a decision, people are guided by 6 principles of influence, which I'm going to cover in the next slide. The term was coined in his best-selling book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, in the mid-1980s. So here are the 6 principles of influence. Let's look at each of them in a bit more detail. Firstly, we have similarity. So this is the tendency to like others who are similar to us. Secondly, we have consistency. So this is the desire to be consistent with what we've already done or said. Then we have scarcity, which is the desire to have things that are rare. Then consensus, the desire to follow the lead of others. Authority, which is desire to follow the expert. And finally, reciprocity, which is the desire to give back to somebody that gave you something. So throughout this presentation, we're going to show you how these principles can be used cleverly across web and email marketing channels. We'll be sharing lots of real-life examples as well, because it's great learning about these theories, but it's even better seeing them in action. So I'm going to start by talking about social proof in general, because it's really the culmination of these 6 principles put into practice. And what is social proof? Social proof is a psychological phenomenon where people reference the behavior of others to guide their own behavior. This tendency is driven by our natural desire to behave correctly under most circumstances, whether making a purchase, deciding where to dine, determining where we should go, what we should say, and so on. Social proof is a great marketing technique that can be used to turn website visitors into conversions, whether that conversion is defined as encouraging shoppers to make a purchase or moving them along the customer journey, for example. And put simply, this is because when we see others taking an action and benefiting from it, we tend to take the same action or want to take the same action. And similarly, we tend to trust information from unbiased shoppers. So by showing customers that their peers have recently enjoyed the same product, you're providing social proof that this product or service you're offering is worthwhile. Let's take a look at some specific social proof tactics and examples. So firstly, popularity messaging. And this is really, when most marketers hear of social proof, they generally think about widgets on e-commerce sites that show how often a product has been purchased or browsed in a certain time frame. This is really what popularity messaging is. It encourages action by simultaneously increasing urgency and making your product seem more desirable. The underlying message with popularity messaging is that other people like this product and you're going to miss out if you don't buy it soon. So here's a great example of trending products on OP Oil's homepage, and they've combined this with popularity messaging. So the fire icon, which says how many people are browsing now, really helps to instill that idea that these are popular items, so you should grab them while they're hot. And then another example here, social proof widgets also work well on pages containing product information, like search results pages or product detail pages, for example. So this is an example, really nice example from Iconic Lights, and it combines product recommendations with social proof by displaying what similar customers bought, which helps boost upsells and taps into the customer's desire to imitate their peers' behavior.
As well as all of those tactics which Camilla spoke about there, which of course you can pull into your emails as well, you have a great opportunity to frame your content in email. A great tactic here would be earned authority. This is such as Pet Drugs Online's Our Vet Recommends in the hero image and in the subject line. Earned authority works by making us feel more comfortable with a purchase or an action, as it's what the experts have advised us to do. Though you don't necessarily need an expert on hand to sell your products. Let's face it, if you sell socks, you don't need a specialist to recommend them. So put yourself, the brand, in the driving seat of the authority. Using language like our customers love, and then showing them what your customers actually love, tells the customer you know what you're talking about. You can also show your customers what your customers have to say about you to invoke some social standing. But a little bit more about that later. The second would be to move these dynamic product recommendations, as Camilla was showing, as they're just as effective in email as they are on web, and can be made even more impactful in email by choosing which part of the life cycle you're actually going to be recommending those products. For example, in a cart abandon email, you might want to show products that complete the set, and you have the objective of the object they have abandoned. For example, in a cart abandon email, you might want to show the products that complete the set. So if I've abandoned a specific item, I can show other items that are related to that item in order to help you complete the set and increase the average order value on your site. You might want to include the most popular products in a welcome email to prompt the customer to the products where they're most likely to convert. Or when building your bulk campaigns, adding a block to show what the customer has actually been looking at on your website to increase click-through if the rest of your content doesn't quite fit the bill. So understanding your customer's life cycle and then adapting your content to the specific life cycle stage will, depending on where in the life cycle you might find your customer, help increase the conversion.
Great examples there. So the second tactic we're going to talk about is ratings and reviews, which is really one of the most powerful social proof tactics. A great example that we all know being Amazon, where the products with the highest reviews perform the best. So it's one thing knowing that other people have bought a product, but it's another thing knowing that someone has used it and was satisfied enough to share positive feedback, or likewise disgruntled enough to share bad feedback. So it's worth adding a social proof widget to display ratings and reviews on your website pages. So feedback on product level pages really reassures customers at the very moment of purchase, while showcasing positive ratings and reviews on your homepage can build trust with first-time visitors to your site. Here are some examples of that in action. This is a nice example from Space NK here. They display each product's rating with a link to customer reviews on each product page, which is a really effective way to encourage shoppers to add the item to the cart, and it also reduces purchase anxiety at the moment of purchase.
You can do the same thing in email as well. And what Camilla says is completely right with Amazon. I don't think anyone buys anything from Amazon without reading the reviews first. And there is something to be said about the reviews looking genuine as well, because I mean, people trust reviews more than basically ever before. It's such a key part of the buying process. So much so 88% of customers put as much weight on online reviews as they would on personal recommendations. A large number of reviews combined in the life cycle stage that you find your message will build that immediate trust and ultimately convert a casual online visitor to an actual paying customer. The example here for Turtle Mat, they have a lot of focus on acquisition. They sell very high quality mats that are on the higher value side of the mat market, more so than most people may want to spend on a mat. But the quality of their mats speaks volumes, and their customers love them. The mats last for 5 years. They have a 5-year warranty, and they want to shout about it. In this cart abandon email for a first-time buyer, so this is somebody who's never actually shopped with Turtle Mat before, they have let their potential customer know that they are great, not by saying it themselves, but by using customer reviews. The other thing they've done is because they've with the review platform FIFO, because they've got so many high reviews, they have given the platinum banner. It gives a huge amount of confidence, and so much so they even use it in the header of this email as well.
That's brilliant. So the third tactic is scarcity messaging, which is combining social proof with scarcity. And displaying stock levels is a really powerful way to drive conversions, especially in the cases where stock is finite, such as limited edition products or hotel rooms for specific dates. Products that are scarce seem more desirable, and the underlying message is there aren't many left and other people are interested, so you've got to get in quick. In fact, our research actually shows that almost half of consumers say information on how many items are still in stock is a key consideration when making a purchase. So here's an example from booking.com where they show that how many rooms are left at this price on their site, encouraging customers to add that to their cart and purchase as quickly as possible to make sure they get their holiday.
Completely correct. Scarcity works better than ever before. So last chance, today only, while stocks last, get it before it's gone. Get it even before the weekend. We've all seen subject lines in emails which say this, but guess what? They work. Even if you can't get for a delivery over Christmas or countdowns to basically any time where it's going to be difficult for a customer to get an item, or the fact that an item might go out of stock, is perfect opportunity to shout about it. So use the subject lines using provocative language to get the open, and then frame your products with powerful language to create urgency. This Mac Weldon email here does pretty much all of this in one place. There's so much urgency creating language here. The only thing I would say with this Mac Weldon email that would make this even better is a countdown timer in it to show when the day is over. And when the customer sees that time counting down in front of it, along with the urgency creating language, it will really push that conversion up and create that urgency with the customer that we're all trying to create.
Totally agree. So, trending product feeds. We looked at the OP Oils trending products example earlier, but it's worth talking about this tactic in more detail. So trending product feeds are a great way to leverage crowdsourced data, and you can try displaying trending products on the homepage to guide new shoppers to your product pages and make the customer journey that bit easier for them. For returning customers, though, you could refine these trending product feeds further by filtering trending products from their most browsed or purchased category, for example. So this is a nice example from Homebase of trending products combined with user-generated content. So you can see pictures pulled in from their Instagram. And user-generated content is, of course, another great way to build trust with shoppers.
Absolutely. And with email, obviously, you can use the same recommendation tactics as that, making sure, as I said before, in your kind of welcome emails that you're including these trending products or your top products to make sure the customers are seeing what they most likely will want to buy. But the other thing with this as well is blending that social in with it as well. And often seen as enemies, social and email can be friends as well. This wonderful campaign from Body Shop is driving customers to their Twitter and Instagram with an emotive message about something we can all get behind, their mum. And it's something that people are shouting about, they're wanting to be part of, and it's something that Body Shop are letting everyone know as well. They're using a mix of email and social to create a different type of brand image where they're shown to care. They're not just selling. They're using user-generated content in order to show how much other people love their brand. This is also great to help build your email following or your social following. If you've got one significantly smaller than the other, crossing the traffic over can really help widen your reach. And this type of messaging creates the type of brand image that just promotes loyalty.
So moving on to behavioural targeting. The social proof techniques covered here don't need to exist in isolation, and they can be blended with customer behaviour to achieve specific objectives. So let's take a look here. This is a great example of customer behaviour blended with social proof. In this case, a product recommendation feed is showing a browser the best reviewed products in their most browsed category. This type of recommendation could be adapted to drive initial conversion and cross-sell to increase average order value. And here we go. Just moving through there. There we go.
Some great examples there. I loved the personalized banner and the personalized recommendations when you land on a website. It really does make all the difference. With email personalization, it can fall into different types of disciplines that can be leveraged depending on the desired effect. The first one we're going to cover today is how fast you can react in real time. So getting the right message to the customer at the right time is very important, and it all depends on purchase intent. Now, at each stage of the life cycle, the purchase intent changes. So if they've just signed up with you, if they've abandoned a cart, if they're browsing an item, they're all signs of purchase intent, as is post-purchase. So the higher the purchase the purchase intent is, the higher likelihood there will be for conversion. So an example here would be a customer who has liked your website enough to sign up, has shown a good sign of purchase intent, which is why welcome emails see such a high open, click, and conversion rate. This is also true for cart and browse abandon emails. If a customer is browsing your website, it shows intent. If a customer puts something in the basket, it shows further intent. So much so that we typically see double the conversion rate in cart as we do on browse emails. This great Shoe Zone example here knows, so within their marketing rules, they know I'm male, they know that I've abandoned a specific product, and they know that I'm a first-time visitor on the website. So they have personalized the call to action to not only reflect the fact that I'm looking in a male category and abandoned male shoes, but they've also changed the color schemes as well as the offer in order to make sure that I'm getting the best possible experience from this cart abandon email. The next route is looking at a more proactive way. So instead of just reacting to what customers do, is creating the opportunity for win back. So you would analyze your customers' buying and engagement history to create and identify personalized campaigns for lapsed customers, or identify potential champion customers and nurture them through that journey. So this could be a customer who spent a lot of money with you before in the past, but hasn't bought with you for a while. This could be a customer who has bought with you consistently, but has now started to drop off. Or this could be somebody who's just become a champion, who's just become a loyal customer with you, and you want to make sure that you keep them there. This allows you to be really proactive with your approach and create your own opportunities within your existing customer or prospect base. Instead of just sending standard bulk emails, it allows you to target them based on their previous history with you. For example, a lapsed customer with a high customer lifetime value might find themselves on an optimized incentive journey until you win them back, using, I'd say, all of the tactics that we've discussed today. Or you might find a cohort of engaged prospects. So they're really engaged with your emails, but they haven't actually bought anything yet. So how can you use email to target them better instead of more expensive acquisition methods like PPC or search or even social? You can also use this to deliver the perfect post-purchase message, again, depending on their buying history. You might find out, as is indicative of a lot of customer data that I've seen, that your customers only purchase once. So to get that second purchase discount to come through by offering them the opportunity to buy from you again and increase the likelihood, while not offering everyone who's purchased all of the time the opportunity for free delivery on the next purchase or money off. So it allows you to look after your margins a little bit better as well.
That's great. So quickly, to summarize all of those points that we've covered, firstly, it's really key to boost urgency, build trust, and move visitors along the customer journey with social proof tactics, such as the ones that we've talked about today. And then it's important also to combine social proof with behavioural targeting to achieve your specific objectives. And finally, as we've just seen, it's important to use historical and live data to define key personas and use this to deliver the right content to the right customer at the right time. If you want to learn more about social proof and see some more wonderful examples, and why wouldn't you, you can download our Ultimate Social Proof Lookbook, which is available from our website. The link is there on your screen. And if you want to get in touch to discuss anything that was covered in the session today, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact details are there. And
yeah, also feel free to reach out to me, pop me an email, give us a call. Be great to discuss what you're trying to do and see how we can help you achieve it.
Great. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. So now I think we're going to dive into some questions, and I think we actually have 2 questions on the list. So first question is, what's the first thing that you recommend I review? Jack, do you want to take that one?
Absolutely. So the first thing you should always review is your customer life cycle. Now, don't look at your life cycles as silos. Look at how your customers get to your website, how your customers get from your website to your emails, how your emails get your customers back to your website, and how everything kind of marries up. Map out every step that you would like to achieve, but do that as a gap analysis with what you've already got. When you notice things, so if you're looking at cart and browse, for example, and you're doing them, but you want to enhance them by changing the types of messaging depending on who that customer is. But you might find out you're not doing a nurture campaign. So this would give you an opportunity for when a customer signs up to start to build one. Start with the things you can tweak first, as they're the quickest wins, and then move on to some of the bigger life cycle steps. The good news is most of the time, especially with email lifecycle, only a few data points are really key in order for you to really maximize it. So once you actually get started with it and get those data points in there, it's a relatively simple and quick process to really get something cooking.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think that, as you said, it's just so important to start with that review of like how your customer journey looks, like mapping out all the points on your customer journey, because only if you do that are you really going to know where your gaps are and what you can focus on first. And I love what you said about starting with, you know, the easy, quick wins as well. That just makes a lot of sense, I think.
Absolutely. There's so much tech and so much possibility out there, but you can really achieve a lot of things quickly by taking a simple approach to it to begin with, and then once you've nailed that, start to add the complexity and add the increase in personalization on top of each one of those steps. But it's good to have a defined baseline, so for one, you actually know that it's working and you haven't just set something up and hope for the best. But two, it really lets you know how far you are along in your journey as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, why would you overwhelm yourself to start with? Then you're kind of starting like on a bad note or on the wrong foot. And it's just, yeah, you want to start with the things that you can actually control, and then you can always build on that and add more personalization and iterate. So yeah, I think that's a great answer. And then the second question we have is along the same lines. Which tactics are the most effective that I should implement first? I would say that it's like, this really depends on your business as well, like, and depends on what you want to achieve and what your goals are. And it's about looking at, you know, the different stages of the customer journey as well. Like if you really need to build trust with new visitors, if that's kind of your weak spot, then you should definitely be thinking about, as I said earlier, like putting your company rating, like your FIFO rating, for example, on your homepage, just to build trust from the beginning. But then, you know, moving on for like returning customers, there are other tactics that you should be using, for example. So it's about, yeah, really thinking about what stage you want to target and making sure that you cover all of those bases along the customer journey.
Completely correct. A lot of companies spend a lot of time thinking about why customers should buy from them, but they don't actually think about why customers won't buy from them. So kind of flip that thinking. So when you're sending your emails or when you're personalizing your website, think about why would a customer see that and not buy? What, like, the building the trust aspect of it, and a lot of it is trust, especially with some companies that I've worked with that sell sensitive goods. Nearly their entire campaign base and website is all about creating trust and showing that they're a brand that's worth interacting with. And again, you're completely right. If you're an existing customer, you don't need that. But what you do need to do is understand what your existing customers need. Do you need to help them buy again? Do you need to make sure that they're going to the right place on your website at the right times? And that will really start to dictate, along with mapping the life cycle out that we spoke before, that using that extra layer will really start to dictate where you should go and why you should do the things that you do.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree. Yeah, as we said, like getting back to the whole topic, it's about getting into the psyche of the customer and about where they are at in the stage of the journey. So it's just, yeah, taking that really like methodical approach, I think, is the best way, isn't it?
People are pack animals, whether they want to admit that they are or
totally.
Not. And they all want to know that they're making the right decision, and they all want to know that that it's, nobody wants to make a mistake. Basically, nobody wants that kind of, that weighing over them. So if they can see that other people are making the same decisions as them, and you can help guide that customer to make the same decisions that everyone else is making, it puts you in such a strong position with all of your customers.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, I think
we've got time.
Yeah, I think that's all we've got time for. So if any other questions are there that we haven't answered, then yeah, as we said, we can try and answer them after the event. Feel free to drop us a message with our contact details and we'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like there are some other good questions in there as well. So please reach out. Let us know what you want to do, and Camilla and I will help as much as we can.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Jack, and thanks everyone for attending this Lunch and Learn session.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.